Shaltari cruiser sprue. For the Shaltari cruiser sprue, I knew that I would need, well, the simple requirement was building the 4 void gates. They're a single piece and they take a little bit of effort to clean up, but once they're done, they're pretty easy. It's just one piece. And so I did each of those because that was simple enough. And to use those, you need motherships. And for the mothership, I decided to do 1 citrine and 1 emerald. Yes, 1 citrine and 1 emerald. That way I can take one or the other or both. I'm a little bit low on number of void gates for 2 motherships, but that's just going to require future purchases to make more void gates available. The other 2 I decided to build as an onyx and a jet, because having a triple weapon option and a double and single, technical terms there, are quite good, and it made sense to build the heavy cruisers instead of any of the lighter ones. I would have loved to build the 2 ambers necessary to run the twins, which is one of the admiral options. And I would also have liked to try out some of the light cruisers, like the Aquamarine, but to sacrifice a heavy cruiser or a mothership to build the option here still requires the 2 wings, but you don't get half as much usage out of them. So I had to go with 2 motherships initially, and the Onyx and the Jet are both quite good, and it just made sense to go with that instead. There's not enough friction to magnetize these onto other options, so I wasn't going to mess with that with the wings. And also, these use a piece that goes in here, and that's not on other ships. So I could have magnetized some of the weapon options. This could have used the 2x1 magnets, possibly, or 1x1, but it would have left a standoff, and I didn't want to actually deal with that extra effort. So I am going to choose these 4 as my initial builds, and there are so many more options available, and how I choose to build these should work well for the way I plan on playing the Shaltari, at least to get a good feel of it, but I know I'm going to need to get more cruisers here. 4 just feels quite limiting overall. For the Shaltari cruisers, I eventually built an emerald and a citrine so that I had extra drop. Each of them drops 4, and the void gates are capable of holding that, but I will absolutely need more void gates. Standard game sizes, I would expect somewhere between 8 and 12 void gates to be necessary, and 1 set of Battlefleet boxes only gives you 4, so I will definitely need more void gates in the future. But I then decided to go with 2 heavy cruisers, and I built an Obsidian and a Jet. And that will give me some reasonable firepower and hopefully guard my Emerald and Citrine. Now, I still need a good way to protect my Void Gates, and I will still need more of them. So that means definitely more cruiser sprues in the future. I would much rather have the plastic Void Gates and extra hulls than buying the resin Void Gate option. So I guess I need to get some more of those so I can try out the game, because 4 Void Gates is a little bit low for Shaltari, and I definitely want to have better results than my opponent just immediately trying to destroy my Void Gates and neutering my army. Subscribe if you haven't so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.